And we're back. What's up people, John Okafor back here with another video. As you can see, I'm still in my room, I'm self-isolating, I've got a couple more days. Don't have coronavirus, got contact trace, so I'm gonna stay in my room for 2 weeks, but I've got a couple days left, so I'll be back on the streets. Anyway, like the title says, life as a professional rugby player, my experience. Before we start, go subscribe to the channel. Last video, the analytics are telling me like 80% of you don't subscribe. Subscribe down below, it helps. It's free, I don't know what you're doing. Click it now, leave a like, then watch the rest of this video. Anyway, enough of the shameless plug. So, for those of you that don't know, about 3 years ago, 3 years ago, I had just signed my first professional rugby contract. It was a year, as you can see. I got released, knee injury, kept me out for 5 months. I was a good old knee injury. But in the video, I'm just gonna talk about my personal experience, what it's like in terms of the diet, training like a professional rugby player, how to become a professional rugby player, how much you get paid, and what the general day of a rugby player look like. So, 2017, I signed out of school. I've been in the academy for a couple years now. Been in it since like 15, 18, got offered a contract. It's an academy contract. They run from like 1 to 3 years, depending on club and location, so many other factors that'll be on your control. So I've come in the summer, bang, it's pre-season. It ain't no joke. The intensity of pre-season or just general rugby training is nuts. I'll give you an example. Like, you're in an environment where the players were all the best players in their school, all the best players in the area, every single player there. So like, you come in there, not everyone's there, so that doesn't matter. You might be the best player in your school, the best player in your area. You come in at 18, you ain't done nothing. Oh, I did this and that at school, I was this man, and that doesn't mean nothing. Secondly, players there are big and you feel the hits. When it's touch now, and like maybe in school you just like do like a light tap. When it's touch, people are putting the shoulder in and stopping you. Know, like dropping the shoulder, you're trying to put you to the floor. But when they're gonna stop you, you're gonna stop dead. Like, I'm a big guy. Like, I'm not small. I'm 6'6". I'm second row. Like, I've got mass to me. But at 18, like I was getting hit by grown men. I was getting hit by internationals. I was feeling that in the mornings. Shoulders be sore, back be sore, ribs might be a little bit tender. I'm like, these guys really know how to like put in a hip. Then in terms of like the whole speed of training, like the best way to compare it is like a school game is like that sort of speed is comparable to like training there, because like the skill set and the attention to detail just in training alone is just uncomparable. It's like night and day. So again, that was something that took me a while to get used to. Like, it took me a couple of weeks just to like find my feet and get settled in and just know my place really. Another thing that I'd say that you gotta get used to as well is just the training load. Like in pre-season, we're training 5 days a week with the weekends off. In season, you're training 4 days a week, game on the weekend. And I'd say like in pre-season, like there's just the intensity is nuts. Like, you got conditioning, you got weights, you have 2 conditioning weights, on-field running, and a rugby session in your whole day. So I remember that in pre-season we'd probably start like 8:30, won't really get home till about 4. Then as soon as you just get home, crash for an hour. You can't help it. You're that tired, you're just that sore. The only thing that can alleviate it is having a sleep. That's pre-season. There's a lot of things to demand of you. I remember when you first come in, like you have like a briefing, said okay, you got new signings, you introduce yourself in front of everyone. I can remember whilst like in pre-season, like another big thing is like you gotta hit your markers if it's strength or conditioning. Gym and like speed and all that type of stuff I've always been good at that. I'm just naturally, that's an area I've never really struggled. The conditioning, that was killing me, I tell you, killing me. I remember like, we got a fitness test now. Each position has a marker and you just gotta make this distance under this time, and you're like, yo, fit. And like, that was something I struggled with, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm better now, like I've gotten better now. I've had to like force myself to do conditioning and actually get fitter. So I say if I did it now, I wouldn't struggle. But back then it was bloody, I'm 18, like I didn't really take that side of the game too serious in terms of like general conditioning. I was always like a gym kid, I was always in the weight room. So I never struggled with that. But the conditioning, like I had to, if you didn't pass it, you had to do like extra conditioning blocks, extra running blocks. It was it was tough. And like, it takes a toll on your body, being that active and just that sort of intensity of training. Like, you gotta make sure you're fueling your body right. That's another big thing. Diet is huge. You are constantly eating, you're constantly grazing away. They say like you need to eat 2.5 grams of protein for every kilo of body weight. Then that's just to maintain who you are. Then you got like, plus all the stress and load that's going through your body, you gotta like probably add like another 100 grams, I reckon, on top of that. Yeah, you gotta feel your body right. Like, the best way to describe it is that if you buy a Ferrari, a brand new Ferrari, straight off the forecourt, are you gonna get the £1.5p a litre fuel or the £1.25p a litre fuel? Yeah, one might be alright for your bank balance, but you're not treating the car right. You're gonna get the 125 litre fuel and the car's gonna be running at peak performance. Same thing with your body when you're fueling it. If you're not giving it the right food, eventually it's gonna break down. It's not gonna give you what you want it to give you. It's gonna give you the power and the energy you need. So that's another thing, like the diet is huge. Like, I think 4,000, that's a lot of food. 4,000-5,000 just to like make sure I was fueling my body right. In that whole nutrition group, there's like 3 categories. I was a maintainer, so in terms of like body composition, I was never one to worry about like being too fat. I was like a bit too lean at some points. They have like 3 categories. You've got your maintainers, your gainers, and losers. So your maintainers are like guys who come in who are generally in shape for their position and just need to keep doing what they're doing. You've got the gainers who need to put in a little bit more size for their position. They might need to get a little bit more muscle mass or a little bit more just general size to them. You've got the losers who are just trying to lose a bit more weight for their position, and it all just relative to where you come in and how your body reacts to food and your whole metabolism and lots of sports science stuff that I'm not really too qualified to talk about. And that's really about it. So in a typical training week, let's say we're in season now, you train, it'll be 4 days training. So let's say the lads have played on a Saturday. So Monday would be like, you get the foundations in for next Saturday. Not too intense, maybe the pace is a bit slower, everyone's just a bit sore from Saturday, you're just still trying to find your feet. Tuesday, that is the real intense day. Gym, high volume running, you can have contact that day. You know, that's when like they're real, that's a big stress on the body. That's a big day. Hence why you get Wednesday as a day off. That day off is like, you might have optional extras or conditioning or physio treatment and stuff like that. That'll be like the day where players can kind of just decide what they need to do. Some players might not need to come in at all and just have the whole day off. Some players might need to come in, might want to come in on Thursday. Again, similarly, it's not as intense as a Tuesday, but like the intensity is quite up there. It's not no walk in the park. It's not like a day to really like chill out. Like, that's probably the last day they may change it. Like, you could tweak the system or the setup ahead of Saturday now for game day. So you're now Friday, you got the team run. The team run is everything's just like not a full pace, maybe like 60-70%, ironing out the last creases before playing on a Saturday. And that'll be like the lads who are playing. The lads who are not playing, you'd have to do like, you would have conditioning, or you know, we'd have, after the team run, we'd have like a training like thing, an extra like half an hour, 40 minutes on top of that. Because like, you still got to get your work in, you still got to get the volume in, because like the S&C and the sports science had like a general target in terms of how much meters players need to cover during a training week, then Saturday game. Obviously, if you're an academy player, when I came in, you might go on loan. So I was on loan before I had my injury. I played a couple loan games down in that too for Wimbledon, which was pretty fun. I really enjoyed it. Great bunch of lads down there. So compared to like when you're at a Premiership club where like so much is done for you, down at that level, the bare minimum is like physio, strapping, whatnot, up that on you to make that environment as productive and get as much as you can out of it. There's not like X amount of staff that just cover all of these things. For example, like in a Premiership club, they have all of this analysis. They would have breakdown of all of these players. You just go upstairs, you go watch it, you make your notes. You go do that in your own time. At loan, it's just like literally just a game. So you gotta critique it yourself or get someone to help you critique it and break it down and go through it. You know, it's an environment where you get out as much as you put in, pretty much being down in like a loan club. That's really about it. There's a lot of expectation on you in terms of in an environment where everything's done to the minute. In a 9-to-5 job, I've never really had a 9-to-5 job, but I mean, there'll probably be some sort of leniency, I reckon. In that sort of environment, if meeting starts at 9, best bet be there 5 minutes too, just to be on safe side, because the meeting starts at 9 and you get there at 5 seconds past 9. The meeting's already started, you're late, you're gonna get fined. You know, like everything is done to the minute. Training, if training is an hour 15, training's an hour 50. Players have a lot of commitments. Like the more senior players or like the international side, like 1,000,001 other commitments to do. So in that respect, like things have to be done on time. You know, if your physio is at 9 o'clock, be there at 9, or you're late, or you owe them coffees. That got me a few times thinking about it. Like, and yeah, like it's one of them things where you need to be really organized. Like at 18, 19, I think my organization was okay. Like it could have been much better. You know, like if you have a team meeting at 10:30, you have a physio treatment that takes half an hour. There's no point booking it at 10 because you're gonna be late. You need to book it at 9:45 or 9:30 even to be better. You know, you gotta like kind of just work things out and juggle things around and stuff, and you just gotta make sure you're really organized. Like I think now it'd be probably much better in terms of making sure, because like they do pay you money, like good money. Like it's not gonna be like, you're not a footballer, you're not making footballer money, no, but in terms of if you have a like good career or you're an international, like they're getting paid top dollar. They're making more than average, you know. So there's a lot of expectation. Like if they're paying you this amount of money, people want you to perform. You know, people want you to turn up on time. They're gonna expect things from you, because effectively as a player, when they pay you, you're their investment. And that leads me on to like how much money like rugby players make. So like as an academy player, like I remember signing my contract, done, looked how much getting paid. I was thinking, oh, that's alright cash, innit? Like it's I'm not gonna start buying 5k bottles like footballers in the club, but in terms of with that money I bought my first car. You know, I was able to like have nice clothes and go on holiday with my friends. And I remember like I might go see my friends at uni or something. I'll just have money, if that makes sense. You know, I lived in the academy house, didn't have to pay for rent, didn't have any bills. Like when I got paid, the money I could just kind of do with that money as I pleased. I had no outgoings, or like no big outgoings like that. Let's say 2-3 years on, like your academy stint, you might have a breakout year. You could go from like 25k to like 80, 90k overnight. That's how quickly, and all of a sudden like the amount, like your lifestyle just completely changes again, innit? So it can just escalate so quickly. Then if you're even like an England international who's got like grand deals, sponsorships, England match fee, bloody hell, the England match fee ain't half bad. What else is there? Plus that little salary, like those lads are living very comfy compared to the average, I don't know, guy that does a 9 to 5, you know. And like the media would make you feel like everyone's like that in the rugby world, you know, like there's this perception of athletes, oh, they get paid all this money and don't really do anything. That's just simply not true. In that respect, it's just a big disparity. You got like your internationals, your top earners, all the brand deals, all the money, like your Maros of the world. And you got like your academy guys who are just trying to find their feet, who are trying to find where they are in the thing. And you got like lads slap bang straight in the middle. You know, your normal Premiership rugby player making more money than the most, but like, but it's not like, oh, they don't have money concerns. They still have to budget out that money, like. So yeah, that's really about it. Yeah, so the last thing I really want to touch on for me is like playing in the first team. Like for me, I managed to do it. It's prior to got unbelievable. Like it's one of them things, like I planned to do it since I was 14 when I joined the club in like the junior academy. This is what I want to get to, like, you know, playing at home in front of like 9,000-10,000 people, coming off the bench, having a full match day experience. It's crazy. Like it's a feeling that can't be beat. You know, it's unrivaled. To this day, it's probably like my proudest rugby moments. I had like 1 or 2 more after that. I'm like, for me, like to come onto the pitch to make my debut for the club I joined at 14 at home, like no one can take that from me. A validation in terms of if I can do it then, I'll be able to do it now. Hopefully a year from now when the world isn't in such a messed up place, I'll hopefully sign at a club and have more of those experiences. Like with rugby, there are some real lows. Like professional rugby isn't all sunshine and roses. You know, like you gotta get used to being hurt, gotta get used to being injured. Like you can get released, like I experienced it. But in that same breath, like there are some real highs, like, you know, winning trophies, winning titles, even the lads that go on to play for the countries. There aren't many things that can compare to being a professional rugby player. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like It's just me sharing my experience as being a professional rugby player. You know, make sure you do subscribe, make sure you do follow me on Instagram. You know, like I said earlier, like 80% of you who watched this video aren't subscribed to the channel. You know, we're real making a push for 500. I'm real trying to put out some good videos, some good content, some enjoyable stuff. Make sure you leave a like, leave a comment as well, man. Just saying anything in it. Like even if it's hate, drop that in it. Like it still helps. Subscribe, follow me on Instagram. Like stuff's always flying around during these videos, so make sure you do follow. And I'll catch you in the next video.